All right, so the next video in our Deadrop and Midnight Society staff profiles that we've been doing, we're going to do Quinn Delhoyo tonight. He is the creative director at Midnight Society and co-founder of Midnight Society, so creative director on Deadrop, I should say. And if you're looking for Quinn, on the About page, he's this one right here. Looks kind of like a strange cyborg demonic Elon Musk in this picture. But that is him. Sorry, Quinn. Don't mean to compare you to Elon. But I have detailed Sumit Gupta, the CEO, Robert Bowling, the studio head, as well as what Guy Beahm, aka Dr. Disrespect, are all doing at Midnight Society and on Deadrop. All those videos are available on the channel. But tonight we are focusing on Quinn Delhoyo, the creative director. So, he's a co-founder of the studio, one of 4 co-founders, and he is also, like I said, creative director. So we're going to look at what he's done, what he's doing now on Deadrop and at Midnight Society, and with no further ado, we're going to get going. So, what is a creative director? Well, first of all, as far as I can tell, he's essentially the director of Deadrop. So these 4 individuals, Dr. Disrespect, Quinn, Sumit Gupta, and Robert Bowling, they're the 4 head honchos at Midnight Society. However, based on their job descriptions and what I can find, Quinn is essentially the director of the actual game. Dr. Disrespect, obviously a co-founder, helping with a lot of different things at the studio. Sumit Gupta, CEO, kind of the business and the money guy. Robert Bowling, head of the studio, so he's working on, overseeing the game, but also the studio, the staff, and so on. Working directly with Sumit and Doc. But Quinn is, from what I can tell, the guy leading the charge, so to speak, on the actual game development. So, Quinn Delhoyo has worked for 14 years on AAA games, and he's got a very, very interesting resume for games. So, what a lot of you are probably familiar with, he was the lead sandbox designer at 343 Industries on Halo Infinite. So when people say sandbox, what they usually mean is the weapons, the abilities, the movement, all of those core gameplay elements. Sometimes the environments, although there's obviously other environmental designers and so on, maps. But that would also probably fall under sandbox. I can't tell you for certain. Only Quinn could tell you that, what he worked on exactly on Halo Infinite. But that's what sandbox means. So he was basically in charge of Halo Infinite gameplay, period. Those of you who know me know that Halo Infinite, I believe that Halo Infinite is one of the best and most crisp playing FPSs out there. Highly underrated for a sandbox, which is basically perfect. So that gives me a lot of hope and confidence in Deadrop's gameplay and sandbox overall. And I think we're already seeing a lot of really impressive stuff. And I'm going to do a whole nother video about that. But, okay, he was lead sandbox designer on Halo Infinite. He was the lead weapon and arena designer of Halo 5. And a lot of people also know Halo 5 had some problems that were unpopular, the campaign being one of them. But Halo 5 was a very high skill ceiling FPS that really evolved the franchise in a number of ways. Not all Halo fans liked the way that it evolved, but the skill ceiling was extremely high, and a lot of people still feel that multiplayer-wise, it is a very, very, very good, not only Halo game, but competitive FPS. It had very intricate movement techniques and abilities, great feeling weapons. A lot of good stuff came out of Halo 5, and Quinn was one of the big guys behind everything that was great about Halo 5. So, again, really encouraging. He also did post-launch support on Halo 4. So, basically, he's been at 343. Before he was at Midnight Society, he worked on Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite with increasingly more responsibility while he was at 343. He was the lead, well, I shouldn't say lead, he was a level and weapon designer at Epic Games on Gears of War. A lot of you who know me also know that I'm a big Gears of War fan, and I feel that franchise is highly underrated. And it's important to note that he was at the Epic Games version of, he worked on Gears of War when it was under Epic, not the Coalition. I don't think the Coalition is a bad developer, but, a lot of people consider the Epic Gears games to be like the prime of Gears of War. So the 2 games that he worked on at Epic were Gears 3, the finale to the first Gears trilogy, and Gears Judgment. And he, like I said, he was a level and weapon designer. And if you know Gears maps, they're very intricately designed, and the weapons of Gears of War are also iconic and always feel great and satisfying. So again, giving me more confidence. This one was very interesting, and I feel like not a lot of people know about this one, but I have to say it. He worked at 3D Realms. Yes, that 3D Realms. And the game he worked on when he was at 3D Realms for about a year, a little under a year, was Duke Nukem Forever. So the creative director of Deadrop worked on the Duke Nukem franchise, Duke Nukem Forever. To my knowledge, I don't have a lot of knowledge about the inside, what was it, like 15 years or so that Duke Nukem Forever was in development. But this is not the version of Duke Nukem Forever that we got, I believe. I think that was developed in full by Gearbox. But Quinn Delhoyo worked on Duke Nukem Forever, and I think that's funny, interesting, cool. I don't know what to call it, but he did. Okay, so let's get down to what he's doing at Midnight Society. Again, as far as I can tell, he's essentially the director of Deadrop. There's nobody else who has the title director that I can find. So he's essentially the director of Deadrop, as far as I can tell. Specifically, based on my research, what a creative director does, they're in charge of a lot of things. Basically everything about the game. Gameplay, the concept of the game, visuals, audio, art, marketing, cinematics, all those people, all those departments, all those developers report to the creative director. So as far as I can tell, like I said, Quinn Delhoyo is essentially the driving force on the actual development, that side of the game, the gameplay, the art, the nailing the vibe of the game, the gameplay loop, all that stuff is being directly overseen and directed by this man, Quinn Delhoyo, who is also a co-founder of Midnight Society. Where can you find Quinn? You can find him on Twitter, though I will say he doesn't actually tweet that much on his own profile, at least. And he's also on LinkedIn. He's also on plenty of Midnight Society and Deadrop streams and Twitter Spaces, so you can look for him there whenever they are live, launching a new snapshot or something like that. Quinn's often a guest, so to speak, talking about the game and what's being worked on. So, with that said, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this series. If there's somebody else at Midnight Society who you want to see me profile, do some research on, talk about, let me know. I've now done all 4 of the founders of Midnight Society, what they've worked on, what they're doing now at Midnight Society and on Deadrop. We're going to have tons more Deadrop content coming for you, so if you're a Deadrop fan, if you're a variant, please subscribe to this channel. You're going to see tons of content coming here. I'm going to be covering Deadrop basically full-time on this channel. So, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, comment, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. And I'm going to continue to stream on Twitch right now, where you can come join me if you're watching this on YouTube.